Hello everyone, Sientir here with Final Fantasy XIII, the start of a new week. I have adjusted some stuff, by which I mean I have installed updated video drivers so I can use the better encoding technology in OBS. So hopefully that will deal with the frame stutter issue that I was having last week. So, time for me to get ready for some fast talking, because that's what these summaries are like. Let's load this data. When Vanilla awoke from crystal stasis, she sought to deny her focus, Cocoon's doom, by lying that she, like Fang, had lost her memory, but instead of preventing a catastrophe, she only spurred her friend into reckless action. Desperate to prevent Vanille from becoming a Seath, Fang suggested they attack a Sanctum Falsi to kickstart their memories, and the tragic incident at Uriety Gorge was the result. Separated from her friend after their escape, Vanille drifted aimlessly until she happened upon Sarah. Though Snow's fiancé thought the meeting was their first, Vanille knew exactly who Sarah was. She was the girl who had wandered into the Bodum vestige only to be turned into a Lassie, a replacement for the Grand Pulsians who had seemingly abandoned their focus. Feeling crushed by guilt and cruel fate, Vanille would have given up there had it not been for Sarah's advice that if things seem too much to deal with, you should face them later. If you can just survive, there's always the hope that you can overcome your problems. That hope is what has kept Vanille going until now. When she describes this touching interlude to Snow, the kind-hearted hero renews his promise to fulfill his beloved Sarah's wish, and Lightning, her anger now a distant memory, means to help him do it. I believe this is the same summary that we got last time as well. Are they actually... This is a random question, because my events haven't really updated much. So... Okay. Yeah, this is the same line here. It's a useful summary of what's going on. But good to know. I wanted to double check that while the thought was in my mind. 7,000 CP is not really enough to buy much, unfortunately. Looks like I need to go this direction. Yeah, I got that treasure chest. You know, it's the start of a new recording session. I need to refamiliarize myself with what the heck are these things. With what's going on is what I was going to say, but then these things. I'm going to try to be more proactive about fighting things. I don't quite understand. Okay, I need to Libra these guys. I didn't check. Are these both the same enemy? Yeah, okay, Yakshas. Weak to water and earth, and they resist physical, so Ravagers are probably a good idea here. Or, yeah, and watering makes sense. He should be doing a good job of tanking for us. I'm just gonna finish getting some buffs up on. Okay, let's switch to a paradigm that can do some damage. Okay, maybe we need to...
Don't worry. Thanks.
Thank you. We needed the healing. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that Saz does not have proper water magic, because he's not using any. But I definitely need to make sure that I'm getting in enough fights to get CP. One of the things that becomes a question that's brought up by this game for me is, how do I phrase this? I get the relative sense of where I'm at level-wise, or CP-wise, I guess, to enemies based upon how much CP it costs to get my abilities. So when it starts to feel like CP gain from enemies is low relative to the CP requirements of my abilities, I feel like I am relatively high leveled to them, if that makes sense. It's kind of equivalent to the idea that if I feel like the amount of experience points I'd be getting from an enemy, like this is a really good CP, right? But if I felt like the amount of experience points I was getting from an enemy in a more traditional setup, say, Pokemon's the RPG that I probably played the most of, so that's the one that I have the biggest reference to. If I were in Pokemon, and I were, you know, level 50, and I need X experience points, and I'm getting an amount of experience that feels exorbitantly low, like from like a level 2 or something, I'd be like, okay, not only am I way over leveled for this thing, or like, you know, if I was fighting like a level 40 maybe, as a level 50, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely beating this a little easily, and the amount of experience points that I'm getting from this 5th tier would feel low, and that would be kind of like another way. Like, this game doesn't have straight levels, so I don't have the ability to compare my relative strength to enemies that way. Enemy levels exist, but they feel very nonsensical and all over the place. Are those notes? There's a bunch of blue bars on that thing, I was noticing. But anyway. Maybe it's just a... Okay, what are we looking at here? We're looking at another group of those guys and some more of that. Let's go out of this thing the other way. But my point of what I'm trying to get at here is that sort of the relative level of things is difficult to judge in this game, because, like, if I look at my character's status, I don't have a level. I have levels and different things. Like, this Magician Mark is star, which means it's maxed. The Procyans? Whatever, the weapons are level 11. I don't know what that means relative to enemies. I can see my strength and my magic stats, which can give me some idea of, you know, roughly how strong my characters are, but, you know, it's imprecise. I can see my ATB level, but that just tells me how many bars I have. I can see my HP, so I can tell, you know, how much health my characters have. And I can see levels for my various roles, but again, those levels, they seem like they probably cap out at about 4. That doesn't give me a strong sense of what level my character is in relation to enemies. So if I look here, like, I don't know how any of this stuff matches up to, if I go into the data log, these enemies we just encountered, the Yaksha, they just are level 8. And I can see how much HP they have, but enemy HP has no direct relation to player HP. I don't see any sort of attack power stats on these. It's just this is what I've got. So this game does a really poor job of giving me a sense of how strong my characters are relative to enemies, from the standpoint of there's no direct comparative summary value. And I don't have any of the information that I need to be able to kind of make that call. So how do I stack up against these enemies? Well, I can tell how much CP they're giving me, and that feels like a relative chunk that I'd need to kind of, I guess, work my way through a level of a role at this point. Like, when I need 6 to 10k CP to get a thing in the Crystarium, then giving me 3,400, you know, so each one is 1,700, feels like a decent portion of that. So it feels like I'm roughly in the right place, but it's all very non-precise, sort of seems reasonable-ish sort of thing. And so it leaves me with a profound sense of, and these are the same enemy, yeah. No, these are a different enemy. Okay. Need to lever these guys then.
Try that on me.
Okay, so these are the guys that do buff manipulation stuff. But anyway, the whole thing means that I don't have a sense of where I'm at relative to the enemies that I'm fighting, and different enemies definitely are differently strong and all sorts of stuff, so it just feels... Okay, let's just... This is not going anywhere. Let's start getting some damage in. But basically everything just kind of works out to feel very confused or difficult to evaluate. How strong am I in relation to the enemies? I don't know. It's all how it feels in combat, which is okay for some systems, but because this is it means that to some extent enemies are CP pinatas. I mean, enemies are always in RPGs, they're always about what you get from beating them. And then usually its bosses are about the battle. Now, sometimes what is the battle system actually like is more of a factor. We probably... Oh, wow. Okay, well, those two guys by themselves were not a huge threat. They mostly are buff-oriented. But it's just there's a lot of like figuring out stuff with enemies, and I don't know the whole structure of the game. And I'll probably talk about this more kind of in a final episode. But the whole structure of the systems in the game feel very confused to me, to where I have a little bit of a difficult time sort of evaluating. I don't want to spend too long trying to throw buffs around, but I want to get everybody hasted up.
Try that on me.
Because the dance will cause problems. This one needs to be taken down first. Okay, well, the problem there was clearly that I was expecting to get healed by my medic, and I was not. Okay, so I'm just gonna swap over to Relentless Assault, like, right away. Okay, I'm gonna switch to Solidarity. Okay, I need... Where's diversity? I need to get some more damage in here. This thing needs to go down, but the other things are kind of dangerous. One of the serious problems that we have right now... Combat Clinic. Oh. Okay, so this enemy combination is quite dangerous because the debuffing capabilities of the dance guys are really nasty. And does Hope have a Suena? I'm going to have to check to see if Hope has a Suena. But they can deal a lot of damage. I know Zaz does not have Raise or anything like that, so I'm going to need to... Here, let me try to remember how this works. Phoenix down, Hope up.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey.
Okay. Where's my... Solidarity? Yeah, you're gonna need to keep me up, and I'm gonna have to slowly whittle this thing down. Because they debuff our defenses, which is really nasty. So I need to keep them all... I need to basically have Saz take that guy down while Hope keeps Snow alive, hopefully. Oh, Snow got low enough that he got his accessory triggered. That's going to help him tank a bit. Like, this shouldn't be too bad once I get this guy, the XIII, taken down. Because that's the one that applies debuffs to us. Like crazy. I think that this is a tanky enough team combination, and Snow's actually sentineling well, that we should be okay. It's just gonna take forever to... Okay. Yeah, we got the XIII down.
Changing gear.
I really hate the way... do I have a... Okay, well, we're gonna go to this one for a moment. Just that way Hope can get some buffs up on us.
Try that on me. Try that on me. Thanks.
Yeah, getting some in water on us is useful as well.
Thanks. Ha!
Okay, I think we can switch to diversity. I hope we can switch to diversity, I should say. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to think of where was I? I got very distracted by this fight being quite challenging. I don't know. I still feel like this this combat system really is too random. That might sound like a weird thing to say, but I have a very poor ability to control some very important things. Okay. Let's just go to Relentless Assault. The fact that the initial paradigm swap has such a long cutscene is really, really bad design. Like, it wouldn't be a problem if it paused during that cutscene. And maybe I can skip it. I'd have to check. We got a lot of Christian for that, which is good. Yeah, I need to check to see if they're skippable, because they are really, really, really bad. To be stuck in one of those while you're getting beat down when you're trying to switch to healing. Like, you don't need to... Having to face tank a cutscene is such a... I don't understand. Mushusa, Taejin's Tower, 5th tier. Tormented soul, heed my plea, and we shall bring light to your dark path. Know that a Mushusa holds my power thrall within this spire. Slay it, and I shall once more be free. If you can but restore the strength of my two brethren and I, here on the upper tiers, the way will be opened unto you. So they're using very similar design patterns, it seems. Okay, so we have one new enemy, but
Hold it together.
like, the enemy should be paralyzed while we're paralyzed. I don't care about trying to fight the Mushasu or whatever. I don't know how dangerous it is. Okay, definitely dangerous. But it's going to be made more dangerous if we can't take down the... Okay, this is ridiculous. Does Hope have a Suena? This is really important. I need to check. Yeah, he does. Okay, good. The Suena heals the stat downs. I want to Libra this thing. Oh boy, it has a ton of buffs. This is not good. This is one of the things that happens with this game, is it's so momentum-y. If you're put on the back foot, it's really hard to recover. Okay, where is Solidarity? I need, I need to be able to tank, because these things... The XIII are just really good at making enemies hit really hard, so... I really need, the Hope and Snow defensive combo. Which means that kind of the thing that I have to do at the moment is just focus down the XIII. And that's just going to take some time, unfortunately. Although when the enemies group up like this, it's very convenient, because it means I can blitz everything. Like right now, I want Snow to use Metagard. rather than entrenched, but I don't have the ability, as far as I know, to be able to instruct him. Although I think entrenched does do damage, which is nice. Okay, first one is down. Now I need to take down the other. I really wish this was set up more like a Tales of game, though, because it really wants me to have control of my positioning. And the fact that I don't is part of what makes these battles feel very random. Like, so basically, I think I mentioned earlier that the battles feel really random, or like I don't have as much control. Basically what I'm talking about is there's a lot of things in this game that I have very little control over. I cannot control my allies beyond setting what their role is, which is certainly a form of control, and don't get me wrong. Why the heck are you not challenging this thing poking me? Okay, maybe it's just not taking. I don't know. But all I have control over is what abilities my lead character has. And there's a bunch of things. Obviously, I'm not going to have control over the enemies. Nobody expects that. But there's a lot of things that I do not have control over, some of which are very important, one of which is what exactly my allies are doing. I might have different priorities than they do. I might be able to do some tweaks to their AI, I'm not sure. But still, that's still just trying to nudge the AI. I don't have direct control over them. The other thing that's very important that I have no control over is positioning. Positioning is an incredibly important part of this game, and I have no ability to control any of the positioning. Our characters are going to stand where they're going to stand, and because of the fact that positioning does matter, the AoE-ness of attacks and things like that, like, this is a very, very, like, this is just below real time. It is so close to it that it's kind of almost uncanny valley, where it feels like it just wants to be real time, which is what the Tales of systems are, right? They're more Smash Brothers-esque or whatever. You can go in any particular direction with them, but I think I might take a moment to switch to prudent planning, just to try to allow us to be able to do a little bit more.
Thanks. Anytime. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, let's try diversity. Arrow, you say? Oh, it absorbs most elements. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we really want to stagger this thing, is what I'm seeing. But yeah, because there's just so much stuff that's important, what my allies do, where the heroes stand, it can feel very frustrating to try to do stuff effectively, because you are there's a lot of stuff that's really important to the battle that you have no control over. And like I said, one of those is the positioning of your allies. If your allies are positioned, like if your characters are positioned on top of each other, then they're going to be hit by attacks, because attacks have AoE properties, generally speaking. And that means that... yay, mission complete. Moon Blossom Seeds, eh? But what that means is that positional aspect becomes something that feels like it can have a determining effect on how well you can perform. Why is that indicating a... Is it just because I can do something there, or do I need to go down a level? I'm very confused. But anyway, it's just a thing that I find a little bit... I don't know, frustrating is exactly the right word. But the system, I feel that it's something that is a bit detrimental to the experience in that stuff can go wrong, not because I'm... Or it can feel like stuff is going wrong, not because I'm doing the wrong thing, but just because the AI is like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do anything. Or I'm going to stand right next to you, sort of thing, and it'd be better if the heroes spread out and that sort of thing. So can I bet you getting this aligned is kind of the next step in our elevator shenanigans. Or maybe I already can go up there. I don't know. I'm going to have to check. Okay, I've got a decent amount of CP at this point. I can buy a couple of things, so I should. This menu is also fancier than it should be. There's no need for it to be this fancy. I can get him a little bit more synergist, but right now I want to keep working commando. I want to move him towards this accessory slot, which I should be able to get now. That helps a good bit. Yeah, I want to get his... Let's see. I think his accessory slot must be over here. Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's not quite there, but he's almost there. But you can see what I'm talking about, like CP costs and stuff. Like, it takes a few battles to be able to kind of fully get things. I kind of want to finish his medic, if I'm being honest. Like, this gives him a lot of additional stats, because medic is so high. I'm going to let the ladies continue to build CP for now. It's not going to be a problem unless they randomly force us to switch our party configuration for no obvious reason. So, I'm guessing they're not going to do that, but I never know. Let's get this elevator down to the 4th tier. Because clearly I need to go somewhere else. This strange elevator, though. I don't even know what that counter's supposed to be counting. Is it counting rotations of the gears or something? And you could use that to figure out where you are, but that just seems like a lot of additional math. I'm gonna fight these guys again because I need more CP. That's really what it comes down to.
Back off! We gotta win this! Back off!
Haste everything.
Thanks! Thanks! Back off!
Okay. I can pause. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around a little bit more to see if I can end that more quickly. Diversity. We need some healing going on here. I mean, we've almost gotten this first Yaksha down, so... This would actually probably be a reasonable streaming game just because there's so much downtime during fights, so much as like a lot of it is just mashing A to auto attack and paying enough attention to know when you need to paradigm shift, but give me a lot of opportunities to read chat if I was streaming this game. But I'm not, so here we are. I'm streaming Guild Wars 1 though. You can go watch that. Yay. Another fight and I can get that. Oh, that reminds me, I need to... Is it you? Yeah, you who got... Equip. This just gives plus 20. Yeah, that's not terribly exciting. Let's see. Let's go with the energy sash. Random instant. Okay. What? Occasionally fills the chain gauge of a target instantly. Well, that sounds like it could be useful. Okay, so this is another system in the game. So this game has so many hidden, invisible system aspects of stuff that I feel like you almost need a guide just to be able to know like how to equip your characters. Right here, I mean, I've got some obvious useful things from my abilities, or from my equipment, like the magic plus 60, the strength plus 100. Those are both great. Stagger maintenance slightly extends the duration for which enemies remain staggered. That's useful. Kill TP charge, like I know about that from the thing, but stagger maintenance, I think, comes from my weapon. But random instant chain is this hidden ability that, how would I know that this is a thing that can happen? Occasionally fills the chain gauge of a target instantly. I think that means I can get a stagger very quickly on enemies at random, which is an extraordinarily powerful effect, but I'd have no idea to even look for it. And, like, I understand wanting to encourage experimentation and stuff, and I know that they told me that you could sometimes have these things, but it's just one of those things where, like, if you're expecting me to discover them, I feel like it's a bit challenged. So part of it is making equipment kind of look good on the surface, I guess, is kind of where I'm getting with all of this. But also knowing that I can get things that are more effective than just like physical wall 5 or magic wall 5 or whatever. Or magic wall 10 even. Speaking of which, she has another equipment slot that she could totally be filling with something. So like, I don't know if putting multiple things on would, you know, help a lot with other things. Let's give her a glass orb. Why not? Okay, so I need to go find sort of the next course of action. I'm gonna check upgrades slot first. The power circle is in a decent spot. Okay, and that is one that increases. The other thing is it's very unclear what stuff is in the level you up category and which stuff isn't. Oh my goodness, that's strong. Yeah, I got some real strength stats. But see, that didn't lower my bonus. I have no idea why. I want to work on the guns. Yeah, see, this comes built in with stagger maintenance. But I need to put some of the lower level junk stuff into it in order to start getting these bonuses, because these bonuses are really important before you start putting expensive stuff into it that like adds a lot. So I mean, I slowly need to get that up. I need money to be able to do that well, so that means I need to sell stuff for money, because that's the main way that you seem to be able to get money in this game. So the whole system is a little indirect and convoluted, but oh well. That does seem like the logical conclusion. I think we missed this side of the elevator. Oh, we got a gale ring. That sounds like... yeah, okay. Increases wind resistance. Categorize this stuff. Yeah, I don't care about that. This bladed lance. I'm not using her at the moment. But I definitely need to get that up, because I think some of the growth rate on weapon effectiveness can actually be quite extreme. Like, this is level 11, and this is level 11. This is level 20. That's like 3 times the strength stat. So, also, maybe I need to be using a weapon on him that has a better magic stat. Maybe this? I don't know what defense maintenance means, but I can potentially look into that. Well, I mean, you're gonna need to fight these. Have I seen these things before? I don't think so. That would be correct.
Try that on me.
Okay. They're weak to magic, eh? As long as we have some time to apply buffs without needing to worry about healing, I think we should probably be fine. Okay, so they poison, which is not great.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
But he has
Thanks.
healing capabilities, so... where is solidarity?
All guys leave.
Let's do this for a moment. Okay, they don't look... I mean, granted, I've got a bunch of buffs up, so...
Don't worry. I owe you.
That makes it difficult to judge how strong an enemy is, relatively speaking, but... I think I want to stay in this mode for a while. Because it seems like they've got enough damage that I kind of want the tank focus. And I'm doing okay on taking them down, so... with Saz.
I appreciate it.
They definitely make it really hard to switch weapons around easily in this game, though, because to get good effects out of your weapons, you have to invest a lot of resources into them to level them up, which I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the big advantage of that is because all characters can effectively kind of reach similar capabilities with enough CP. They expect us to do that a lot faster. But anyway, as I was saying, because all characters can reach kind of similar effectiveness with enough CP, it does encourage you in ways that make each character a little bit different, because you're going to need to invest. Okay, so these are some better daze resistance, I guess. But anyway. Oh, this goes to 6th tier. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. And then is this a loading screen, I guess? Probably.
Can you come here?
The heck is that thing? I want to see what my mission is before I worry about fighting that thing, but I am going to go fight it. Enlightened soul, heed my plea, and we shall bring light to your dark path. Know that a Vitala holds my power thrall within this spire. Slay it, and I shall once more be free. If you can but restore the strength of my 2 brethren and I, here on the upper tiers, the way will be opened to you. Mission commenced. Okay, that requires us to go somewhere else. This looks like it's some sort of Seath.
Thanks.
Oh, okay. It's just gonna be wrecked by magic.
Hold it together.
Let's just relentless assault it and see how this goes. It's a vampire, technically. Holy shnikes, it hits hard.
Change in the play.
Or not planning. I mean, okay, that's plan. It seems to mostly leave us alone unless we actively attack it.
Thanks.
So that's interesting.
Thanks. Hold it together.
Wow, it hits hard and it has a ton of HP.
Tough times, huh?
Deprotect. I'm not quite sure what whale they're supposed to do. I definitely would like to get the staggers in on it, though. Ow. It punched me in the face. That's why we have a medic.
Thanks.
I felt that. Man, that's a 600 damage hit. This guy doesn't attack often, but when he does attack, he hits hard. And that is with the protect up. Wow, 1,000 damage spell. It tries to use Deep Protect, but it's not working. And I'm kind of glad about that. Oh, whale stuns us, I see. Technically, I want Relentless Assault, because if we're staggering it like this, it can't do anything. And I'm much better off having Hope deal damage as well. Well, that was quite the enemy. Oh, wow. We came in way under time, so that's nice. Tear of Woe. Whoa. Oh, I'm not quite sure that's what they meant. But anyway, that's going to go ahead and wrap stuff up for me today, I think. So I guess until next time when we continue climbing this tower, take care, everyone, and goodbye.